Tonight, military junta in Niger buckle under pressure, agreeing to dialogue with the ECOWAS threat of military action looming large.
Over the last couple of days, we've already received assurances that they are ready to receive a mission, so we'll take them at their word. Okay.
That's a new development.
That's a new development, yeah.
We are live at Burma camp here in Accra, where ECOWAS military chiefs are just about wrapping up a 2-day planning session to finalize a plan of attack. Plus, the United Nations writes to ECOWAS complaining about the adverse effects of sanctions on humanitarian missions to Niger. On the day, Nigerian citizens staged a protest in Ghana to demand restoration of constitutional rule.
The coup leaders, message that you have to them, they should go back. They think that we know every country is supposed to follow the law of the country. So far as them to Bazoum Mohamed is their president, the coup that they make is not coup. It's kidnapping. It's not coup. Coup is not coming like this.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. They had been determined to ward off any attempt to have them restore constitutional rule and have gone as far as confining an ECOWAS delegation to an airport, forcing them out of Niger. I am talking about the young military junta that overthrew constitutional order in Niger. ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Dr. Abdel Fattah Musa, was part of that delegation that was held at the Nigerian airport.
We were going, and they said they were not ready to receive us.
Part of this mission?
I was part of it. Secondly, before even then, the chair of the ECOWAS authority, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu of Nigeria, also dispatched the former head of state, General Abdul Salam Abubakar, with the Sultan of Sokoto to go also and talk to them. They confined them to the airport. They confined them to the airport. They didn't allow them, citing so-called explosive security situation in town, which is all false.
Well, after days of saber rattling, tonight it appears the threat of military force may be yielding some results, even as ECOWAS military chiefs wrap up their plan of attack here in Accra in the next hour. Joy News is learning the junta in Niger has sent a message to ECOWAS chiefs agreeing to talk. Listen to Dr. Abdel Fattah Musa speaking exclusively to head of our Foreign Affairs and Diplomatic Desk, Blaise Soga.
Over the last couple of days, we've already received assurances that they are ready to receive a mission, so we'll take them at their word. Okay.
That's a new development.
That's a new development, yeah. That they are ready to engage and we will oblige them, so that is it. All we want is to make sure that the right thing is done, constitutional order is restored. We don't want to go the military route, right? So we are giving every opportunity for the peaceful option to work. Yeah, and So what I would say is that there is so much orchestrated and organized resistance, and everybody is focusing on the military option. This is not the preferred option of ECOWAS. Okay, so I would appeal to the media and all people who actually love the region, the regional integration, to wait for official information from the ECOWAS Commission and not be tempted by, this social media.
Now the opportunity is here. At least we have you joining us for a conversation. So you are in a position to either confirm or deny some of the reports that we're hearing. Yes. We're hearing of a date that you have arrived at to deploy the force. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. We have not arrived at a date to deploy the force, and I'm not going to speculate on it. That is not our decision, right? These are the military chiefs of the region who are meeting. You see, when you are going into a military operation, there are Plan B, Plan A, Plan C, and others, and you choose the scenario depending upon development. So I cannot tell you that we've chosen a day that is an ambiguity we'll always keep.
Let's talk about the contribution of the troops. The defense minister indicated to me at the time the UK foreign minister arrived in Ghana that Ghana stands ready to, commit its troops to this exercise. Are you getting, the same commitment from other countries, and what are the numbers looking like?
I think I've already answered that question. We've gotten concrete commitment from all the member states.
You haven't put a figure out?
Yeah, we have the figures, we have everything, but I'm not going to tell you.
But you need to be transparent. This is the ECOWAS. You're funded by taxpayers.
Yes.
Why are you not being transparent about it?
No, we are not, because we don't want to give the enemy advance information as to our intentions, as to our capabilities. We know their capabilities. I think we are keeping ours as a top secret, it's a military secret. So what I can tell you is that we have adequate forces to carry out the operation if need be.
I want to take you live now to Burma Camp, where Blessed Soga is joining me right now. That's where the chiefs have been meeting since yesterday. Blessed, have they wrapped up?
Not yet, Evans. In fact, many of us here, reporters, are surprised about the development because the official time given and projected time for wrapping up the engagements here after 48 hours of intense negotiation and dialogues amongst the Chiefs of Defense Staff is that by 1400 GMT, which is 2 p.m., everything should be wrapping up for us to receive that final communique from ECOWAS on what the marching orders would be. It appears that the meeting is dragging as the mood here appears to be changing suddenly. I surmise that this must be because of the revelations we're now getting for you on the Joint News platform that the military junta in Niger in the last few hours has reached out, or ECOWAS is speaking up intelligence that they are beginning to losing their stance on dialogue. That's the indication we're getting. So if that's the case, it will definitely mean that a lot would have changed in terms of, first of all, activating a military force and going in with a standby force to normalize or restore constitutional order in Niger. So it appears that's why the briefing, which was scheduled for the last few minutes, has not happened. The very final rounds of engagements going on for the Chiefs of Defense Staff to be, first of all, sure, verify that information, cross-check with their home countries, and to see if there would be probably a U-turn, if we may call it as such, from the original disposition that an ECOWAS force would be activated. But we are also being told that for now, President Akufo-Addo, together with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, have been informed about this latest change in, the turn of events. So we're just waiting. I'm sure that in a few moments from now, the press will be updated on whether or not ECOWAS will still go ahead or make that U-turn.
And of course, also today, one of the things that we're also learning that they'll be talking about is assessing the cost, but also intelligence that they may be picking up from Niger itself.
So here's the thing about the cost. Our initial projection was somewhere around $2.3 billion. It turns out that, that may be more or less the figure. I was speaking to Ambassador Fatal, who was trying to clarify the position. The understanding is that ECOWAS had already put up a mechanism that will deal with a standby force to tackle issues of insurgency and violent extremism in the sub-region. The projected cost for a year is that it should be amounting to $2.3 billion. ECOWAS says that's far away from the amount it is projecting to commit to this very exercise. And regardless of the cost, if the word go, is given by the heads of state, they are ready to move in, they are ready to deploy their forces, and cost would not be a problem because they are adequately resourced.
And that's a key point going forward to look at closely. But this is all happening on the day when there was a lot of activity around the Nigerian embassy here in Accra. Following what we got yesterday from the Nigerians themselves, the escape of Bazoum's chief of staff, who's taken refuge in Ghana, there has been a protest today, and you've been there.
Okay, so let's put it in context. The chief of staff of Bazoum says he's still in control. In fact, in the last few minutes, he reached out to me, pointing out that he's not necessarily scared of what's happening in his country. He's simply attending, those were his words, he's simply attending a meeting of the defense chiefs, which is happening here in Accra. So he's still holding himself out as the chief of staff, believing that President Mohamed Bazoum remains the head of state. That's his argument, except to say that we do not know if right from this meeting he'll be heading back into that country, which is the Republic of Niger, where the military junta has already appointed new officers to act as government officials.
And also to point out that also detained the cabinet of the ousted president.
Precisely. So, that's the question that's arising. But they still believe that they are the legitimate government. As to what happens tomorrow, whether he would move back into the country, we are not sure of that. We'll keep monitoring the space. But here in Ghana, the citizens of Niger who are resident in the country have been raising concerns about how they are unhappy with the military junta, the decision, first of all, to depose elected President Mohamed Bazoum. And they amassed in the early hours of today at the embassy of the Republic of Niger, calling on the military junta to reinstate President Mohamed Bazoum and also to opt for democracy. Let's listen.
Yeah, so far as Niger to someone's come out inside. If you take Niger is 8 regions, 5 regions or 6 regions, all they come to Ghibli that they should bring the president back. Only the capital that we see some 4 people, they come to support the soldiers. They do not have any right to support the soldiers. We don't need soldier law to be present for us.
What message do you have to the coup leaders?
The coup leaders, message that you have to them, they should go back. They should come to see them because they think that we know every country is supposed to follow the law of the country. So far as them to Bazoum Mohamed is their president, the coup that they make is not coup. It's kidnapping. It's not coup. Coup is not coming like this. The president is not doing any bad. The president is doing only good. So we are giving the soldiers, please, they should don't hang about their people in Niger because now people, they are suffering. So far as ECOWAS give us, they give us what is calling ECOWAS give, nobody is enter, nobody is coming out. Now Niger, people, they are hungry. So far as ECOWAS is not working about what they are doing.
You're saying that you sleep here?
Yeah, we are sleep here because of what happened. Now more people, they are coming. Yeah, they are coming. We call them, they will come. Whether today we are doing, tomorrow they will come back. We're there here from now to night.
For today, what petition do you have? Because I see that you have a paper that you'll be presenting to the commission. What to the commission?
The commission that the thing that we go present to them, the ambassade thing is under democracy. That's why we follow to come to the ambassade. They should know that the soldiers that they make the coup, they didn't bring any ambassade in Ghana here. Bazoum Mohamed is the president, is giving the commission to ambassade. So we are supporting, we are not talking about the ambassade, we are talking for the right of the Nigerian.
What is your name?
And you heard there, he been talking about the challenges that the Nigerians are currently facing on the back of the military action there. Of course, the junta taking steps to ensure that the cabinet of Mohamed Bazoum remain in detention, and that is causing a lot of consternation both in Niger and across the SAP region. I want to bring in Alhaji Sule Haruna. He's a chairman of the Niger community here in Greater Accra. Joins us on the line right now. He was part of the group that protested at the Nigerian embassy today. I just heard your group say that you'll be sleeping there. You're determined to stay at the embassy until ECOWAS hears your plea. Are you still on the ground?
Hello, I'm listening to you.
Hi, Alhaji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Are you still at the embassy today?
Yeah, now we left because of the rain. We left to ambassade. Now I'm around in the Nima.
Now
so I'm around in Nima.
You were calling for the military junta in Niger to hand over power to Bazoum, but we've watched the scenes in Niger. Your own compatriots in Niger, they're jubilating, they're cheering on the Chiani and his men there. It appears you're happy with what has happened.
What is happening in Niger? We didn't feel in that at all. We Nigerians in community in Ghana here, we didn't feel at all because everybody know the military, they're supposed to give the power to the president. They're supposed to give the power to the president because every country, no development in the country are part of democracy. So we should follow the democracy law to give the president that the Niger people. Them they said that they like the president, they vote for him. The military to give him the power. Please, we are begging them. We don't want any action to Niger. Because I think that they know ECOWAS is making meetings Nigeria before they bring the meeting in Ghana here. Fine, they have right, because every these African countries, instead of no democracy, instead of ECOWAS is not following in democracy, it's not going to go all right. So that's why we are begging the meeting for Niger. Please, just hand over to the president. Then we will be well, we will be happy. The Nigerians were happy in it. Because let's tell you something about it. Let's tell you something about Mr. President Bazoum Mohammed. Bazoum Mohammed is trying of the Niger president is trying. Because of what he's trying, if you look about the president that is leading 2 years or 2.5 years, the thing that is doing in Niger, if these other people, they stay good 20 years but they can't do nothing. So please, they should bring the president for us back. We the Nigerians, if they not the president for us, we didn't happy at all.
Yeah, Sule, tell me, I asked you earlier to give me your own sense of what we've seen on television happening in Niger, Niamey to be very specific. People have been on the streets and they've been jubilating. They've been cheering on the military junta there. They seem happy with the takeover.
Okay. You know, we see that all they are debilitated, that they make the coup. They are happy. No, but we know it's not individual. If they look about 100%, maybe 30% come out that this that is happening is good for them. 70% they are looking at what is happening is not good. Who's supposed to take the majority? Who's supposed to take the majority? Because the majority is supposed to take everything, but we don't have any something to say to them. Please, they should leave the country to come in peace. They should leave the country to come in justice, because no peace, no justice. So please, we are begging them. We are begging them.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a plea there from Haji Sule Haruna. He's the chairman of the Niger community here in the Greater Accra region. Today, we are also seeing that the United Nations is getting a bit more vocal about the situation in Niger, particularly when it comes to the humanitarian missions there. We know Niger is one of the most poorest countries in the world, let alone in Africa. And there is a lot of UN operations currently underway to try and get help to those who need it most, except that the ECOWAS sanctions is making that almost impossible. Yeah. And the United Nations chief responsible for humanitarian affairs, the Undersecretary, is concerned about this. Yes. He has a few points, demands laid out to ECOWAS.
Yes, so he raised these concerns in a letter to the ECOWAS Commission, and he's stating and admonishing ECOWAS to ensure the safe movement of humanitarian cargo and personnel in and out of Niger by air and by land. Also guarantee the safety of humanitarian flights. Thirdly, clarify that all commercial and financial transactions necessary to support the continuation of humanitarian operations in Niger remain permitted, and proactively communicate this decision to financial institutions, relevant authorities, and entities in the private sector. 4, maintain the provision of utility services as necessary to support humanitarian operations. And then 5, exclude from asset freezes all transactions needed to support the delivery of humanitarian assistance and activities necessary to address basic human needs of the population. He concludes by saying that he's looking forward to working with the ECOWAS to ensure that the population of Niger directly affected by the crisis can receive the necessary humanitarian assistance. Evans.
A very important position from the UN. And just yesterday, there was another press briefing where this was spoken about by the press secretary to the UN Secretary General. I want to bring in right now Professor Vladimir Nchidanso. He's a dean, the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Prof, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Thanks for having me.
Just a short while ago, we heard from Abdel Fattah Musa, who is the ECOWAS commissioner responsible for peace and security, and he made a disclosure that they've received word now from the junta in Niger that they want to talk. Listen.
We've already received assurances that they are ready to receive a mission, so we'll take them at their word. Okay.
That's a new development.
That's a new development, yeah.
Prof, this is a direct result of the saber rattling. ECOWAS's approach is yielding results. Strong arm showed them the force, and they buckled. If this is true,
well, I wouldn't allude it to ECOWAS threat. I strongly suspect that this is what we are all yearning for. We're all yearning for a situation where the junta will begin to talk and ease the tension
so that we all find a way of restoring, because they have not shown any indication that we have taken over and we are staying. They've taken over, yes, that's a fact, a de facto situation. So in the post-ante really situation, what shall we do? We need to talk to them. Because of the threat, they said they wouldn't talk. Now, if they say they want to talk, then I think they have come a step forward. And I wouldn't allude it to the ECOWAS threat.
Based on what we've heard so far, though, if you look at the meeting that is currently underway, from what we're hearing, it's going to be wrapping up pretty shortly. But with the message that has also come in right now, definitely ECOWAS. Now, what's your reading of this? They've finished. If the plan is possibly done, should they pause and give this diplomatic endeavor the chance, or should they still go ahead and announce what they had planned, which we expect to happen?
Really don't know what you have. But my reading of everything is such that we don't even have what it takes to go there. Let us be frank. We don't have what it takes. Where is the standby force? Where is it located? Where is it? What amount of force do we have there? In military terms, we need about 60,000 troops to overrun the Niger military of 20,000. And then the people who have met over there, they know the terrain, they know what it takes to go to war. Look, Mali, Burkina Faso, Algeria, Libya are all coming into the fray. And then you have Wagner coming into the fray. I mean, they are not children who are beaten over there. I respect them. And I believe they are not going to really force so that we send troops there. The logistics, airliftment, strategic lifting, camping, formations, mandate, we have a long way to go. And I tell you, our research shows that if you want to mobilize from a multilateral kind of situation like the ECOWAS, it will take you not less than 6 months to really mobilize a potent force to do that. So I believe that they have taken all these things into account. They are only cementing what they said is on the table, like using force. But they have not given any indication that tomorrow we are going.
I mean, Prof, I want to play a quick 7 seconds of Abdul Fattah on the subject of do they have the men to deploy? Listen to him.
So what I can tell you is that we have adequate forces to carry out the operation if need be.
That's him. Very confident. They have the men. If need be, they can deploy and they have the forces.
Well, I still maintain my stand that when you talk of forces, Ghana has, yes, about 25,000, 30,000, or 33,000, we don't know the actual figure yet, of men and women in the armed forces. Nigeria has over hundreds and thousands of them. Has Nigeria been able to overcome Boko Haram? Or 3,500 people? Look, going into Niger is going to put West Africa into flames. Serious flames. And I think they are only stressing the threat so that the threat stands. And it's a good ploy to allow for diplomacy. In the long run, it is diplomacy that will play. Let's not joke about it. Let's not fan that enthusiasm. We go in and we should go. And I tell you, a lot of the countries in West Africa are candidates for coups already. I've already predicted to you what may happen in either Sierra Leone or Senegal. And I don't think all the countries in West Africa, the 12 countries, which are, apart from those which have been sanctioned, the 12 countries left, I do not think any one of them, or every one of them would want to contribute troops. I don't think so. So we should be very careful. Yes, Fattah is saying this. I heard that point, but my reading is that, or my analysis is that they just want to stress to put fear and change the matrix for negotiation.
Please stay with me. I want to bring in the ranking on the Defense and Interior Committee in Parliament, Mr. James Agaga. Mr. Agaga, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you, Evans.
Your party, your members of Parliament are opposed to any military intervention. But a short while ago, we heard from the Nigerian community in Ghana. They've protested today, asking for nothing less than an ECOWAS intervention if indeed the military junta does not do so willingly. The people have spoken, is it not? They want this done. So you are outside of this. What about the people themselves who have been protesting today? Surely their views must be factored in.
No, but Evans, make no mistake.
we have never stated anywhere that President Bazoum has not got support. Remember that this was a man who won an election. And so whichever way you look at things, President Bazoum has some support amongst Nigerians. But let's not be carried away by some demonstrators, expressing their desire to have President Bazoum reinstated, and that the matter ends there. Because in Niger itself, have we not seen massive demonstrations in support of the military junta?
The view is that
we have seen massive mobs, massive demonstrations.
The view is that the protests you saw in Niger is only happening in Niamey, the capital, but the other regions we haven't seen that, and that is just a tiny minority of people.
No, but Evans, what percentage of Nigerians took part in today's demonstration, if I may ask? And so the point I'm making is that either side has support. The junta definitely has some support. President Bazoum has some support. And that is why, for us, it is compelling for negotiations to be the only solution. Diplomatic efforts should be used to defuse the crisis in Niger. Any attempt to use military force in Niger is going to be disastrous. And that is the angle from which the minority, is coming from. We don't support the ouster of a democratically elected regime in Niger, but at the same time, we're saying that, look, ECOWAS would plunge the sub-region into total chaos if we attempt to apply military force in Niger. The reasons are not hard to find. You have ECOWAS member states, never mind that they are on suspension or have been sanctioned. About 4 of them have pitched camp with Niger. Other countries from outside the ECOWAS region have also expressed support for Niger. So, look, if the ECOWAS today were to deploy in Niger, you're going to have a situation whereby, the ECOWAS project would disintegrate. Because I don't see how Malian soldiers, Burkinabe soldiers would be pitched in battle against Ghanaian, Nigerian, and Senegalese forces. And after they have emerged from that kind of battle, you have these countries coming back together to reconstitute a regional body known as ECOWAS. ECOWAS would be gone if military intervention ever happens in Niger, and you have a humanitarian disaster on your hands.
Well, we'll see what happens tonight, because from what I'm learning, James Agaga and Professor Vladimir Chidanso, we are just about hearing from the military chiefs. They're about to address the entire ECOWAS sub-region, and it's going to be live here pretty shortly. Professor Vladimir Chidanso, thank you very much. James Agaga, ranking on the Defense and Interior Committee, thank you very much. I want to be taking you live shortly to the Burma camp, where we're expecting a press briefing. 2 days they've been meeting, the chiefs of defense staff of ECOWAS, and they have a decision. We'll be taking you there live once that feed is up and that press conference starts. This is where you need to stay. Really, as you've heard, ECOWAS is really on the brink of war. And as you heard already from the Junta Alliance, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, any military action in Niger, they will deem it as a declaration of war on those 3 countries. And so this is setting this whole region up for something really serious. We're going to get a clearer view on this, except that tonight, as we brought to you the latest details, ECOWAS has now received some communication from the junta that they are ready to talk